expect energetically in the world over the next 1 to 3 days or so? Well, I'm here to help you with that, my friend. Google everyone. I'm Aurea Eden, and this is Daily Energy with daily predictions, your news before the news. Google everyone is my way to greet. It means good, blessed, and wonderful. Every day has an energy to it, and today's energy is centered and focused on self-care. It is going to be the day that you take time to do what it is that you need to do, which is to love on yourself. This is also a good time for you to focus on preventative maintenance. This is a good time for you to go get a checkup from your healthcare providers. This is also a good time for you to spend time doing what it is that you love to do, whether it's sewing, knitting, cooking. It is a good time for you to do what it is that you love. Now, let me balance this thing out. Playing basketball, barbecuing, whatever it is, playing dominoes like my dad used to do, whatever it is that you love to do that gives you that sense of balance, that is what you are encouraged to do today. You've been working hard, and I'm proud of you for working hard. But now it's time for you to ground yourself and focus. Okay, when it comes down to grounding, over the next 1 to 3 days, we're going to see this energy encouraging us to spend more time in nature, but not just spending time in nature, but being cautious in nature. Okay, so you may go outside and garden today and enjoy the garden, or just enjoy nature in general. Okay, this is a time to where you can go to the beach and just lay on the beach and just relax. But mind you, I said there is a potential for animal attacks over the next 1 to 3 days here, more specifically today and tomorrow, and it could intensify. So I'm going to tell you to be cautious with the beach thing, okay? To an extent, make sure you're aware of your surroundings, all right? Because anywhere where there's animals that can just show up out of nowhere, you can expect animals to show up out of nowhere, okay? That's energy that comes in tomorrow, but sometimes energy has a tendency to come in early here, especially this year. This year, due to the fact that we do have this thing called leap years, energy has a tendency to show up ahead of time, depending on where you are in the world, so to speak. And so that's this energy. Now, this energy, the characteristic of this energy, it highlights freedom, it highlights change, it highlights adventure, adaptability, flexibility, self-care, police activity, and politics. Now, if you really think about it, for there to be freedom has a lot to do with freedom of expression. And so when we see something coming in about politics, we're going to see a lot of opinions about politics. Just know that everybody's entitled to their opinions. Me personally, on this energy, I like to draw back my energy from a lot of people, and I like to just do me, whether it's rest, whether it's go get another hairdo, or whether it's to get another wig, or it's to go and buy some clothes. But more specifically, I like to garden, so it could be working outside, tilling the ground, and planting plants and digging up plants and stuff like that. But I just typically try to shy away from the social environment on days when it's supposed to be my day. And so, because there is police activity, I would tell you to make sure you're following the laws of the land today. If you're speeding, it's likely, if you're caught, you will get a ticket, so it's almost like you want to be mindful that we're in police activity, and you are likely to see a cop or two or three today. Okay, There are certain things happen, and it's energy. Okay, so it's like it always happens to some extent or another. Okay, and it never fails for me. If I say, oh, it's a day for policing and politics, I am not going nowhere today. Okay, and the days that I have to go, it never fails. I see a cop on the road and I'm like, "Ooh, good thing I was going the speed limit, child." Okay. Some of the themes that we're going to see today is having to do with food. Okay. So the other day I talked about deprivation. I talked about eating bugs, people having to eat bugs, people have to, try to make a make the best out of their situation here. Some people have been reduced down to bread and crumbs. Okay, so be grateful for the little that you think you have, because somebody always have more or less than that. Okay, and more specifically, someone always has less than that. So be grateful for the little that you have, because someone always has less than that. Okay, here. So I'm seeing something coming in about resources, right? And so this energy, how the other day we had energy that likes to do it big. Well, this energy focuses on the small. Focuses on the bits. It focuses on the fragments, the segments, the pieces. And so we're going to see a lot in the news over the next 1 or 3 days having to do with the fragments, the segments, the pieces. Even eco-friendly talk coming into this energy. We're going to see eco talk having to do with recycling. We're going to see a lot coming in with scrap metal, shredded materials, rubber, as far as like tires. When it comes down to activities, when it comes on down to the road, you're going to see a lot of like increased traffic over the next 1 to 3 days. It's goes more specifically tomorrow between the late night tonight, early and late tomorrow. You're going to see that come in about tire blowouts. You might see a lot of tire fragments on the road and stuff like that. We're going to see creative things being done with tires, eco-friendly things here as well. So it's not always bad energy, but I do feel like some of these wars are going to be trying to find creative ways to source things, because they are actually running out of certain things, such as, you remember in past wars, they actually had to like put limits on certain things, and they actually were like, I think they were like, what were they like buying back like things that had copper and silver in it. So we might see something coming in about silver shortage, something needed for war. And more specifically, when it comes down to missiles, history would tell us that, a time will come that there's going to be a shortage when it comes down to missiles, or something's going to happen with the supply of missiles. And so we're going to see something about this coming into the news. It doesn't have to be the next 1 or 3 days or so, but it's likely to happen somewhere in this month of July. Okay. But we'll see talk about that coming in. Not only that, but we're going to see something about music. We're also going to see something about fundraising in the news over the next 1 to 3 days. A lot of clubs and associations, groups, such as the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. We're going to hear more about Scouts coming in. I'm also seeing talk coming in about the homeless. So we're going to see something coming in about the homeless, talk about the homeless and stuff like that coming into the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so as well. We're also going to see, when it comes down to the homeless, we could see limits and stuff like that being put on the homeless here. We can see limits being placed, limits being put on the homeless. limits being put on food. This could be more talk about SNAP benefits over the next 1 or 3 days or so. I'm also seeing that we're going to see something coming in about wind. So it's an increase in wind, possibly even another hurricane coming in. We're going to see something about a wave. We're still under a tsunami warnings here because I'm still picking up tsunamis. I'm seeing accidents that happens with corkscrews. Okay. This could be someone grabbing what it is that they have in their vicinity. And so let's see who these someones could be, but it's not going to be all inclusive. But some of the names that I'm getting here that this energy loves to basically manipulate is Mark. We're going to hear something about Mark. Carl. We're going to hear something about Carl, Cam, Cal, and Rob. Okay, we're going to hear something about Rob or Robin in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. So some of the warnings with this energy is that, there's going to be things being decreased and reduced. Because remember, I told you they like to do it small. So this is decreased checks, reduced funds, as well as decreased the consideration. I'm seeing restraints, decrease. Although this energy likes freedom, guess what the opposers of this energy tries to do? It tries to limit your freedom. Okay. And so that's why I'm seeing certain restraints being put on things. This could be lover spats and restraining orders here. Okay. But a lot of aggression in this energy, especially late nights. So this is going to be more violent energy than any other time in the cycle. Okay. Especially around, I'm going to say 9 o'clock. Okay. That it has a tendency to increase in violence. Okay. So if you're going to stay out, I'm going to say be at home by a decent hour today. Okay. Tonight for sure. For some of you, I would say, like they used to tell us, make sure you in this house by the time the street light comes on. Okay. But that's what I'm seeing. So more warnings. I'm seeing intruders and perverts. And so, I kept telling you I was picking up on something about a lavatory. And then when it comes down to neglect, I'm gonna tell you about that in a second. But I told you I was picking up something about a lavatory. I see somebody hiding, like they're hiding in people's homes and stuff like that. And they're basically getting themselves off. Okay. And so and then the fact that I'm seeing restraint, I'm seeing that there's going to be like kidnapping incidents, abduction incidents and stuff like that. And think about neglect. I'm going to tell you, this is one of those times when I told you before, make sure you're keeping an eye on your loved ones, your babies, those who cannot fend for themselves, even your small animals and your loved ones in the nursing home over the next 1 or 3 days or so. I think about, what was it? It was like, I think it was Fire Creek, assisted living facility or something, or Fall Creek. I don't remember the name, but it was an assisted living facility that ended up catching on fire. And so I think about those people who might not have got that chance to see their loved ones before they went on. But that's why I tell you, I feel like one of the greatest crimes is to put your loved ones who have taken care of you in a nursing home, and you don't go see them after they took care of you and they wiped your bottoms. Okay, so this energy is more so specifically for tomorrow. Okay, when I say make sure you go and see your loved ones, but today it's saying make sure you don't neglect. And so, speaking of the elders, this could be elder neglect. This could be child neglect. But I'm seeing neglect and negligent activity when it comes down to babies. And when I call people creeps, you know why I call them creeps, right? Because they are negligent when it comes down to babies, irresponsible when it comes down to the less fortunate, and so on. You see? But I always tell people you're only one experience away from the reality of their life being the reality of your life. So I always tell people, watch how you treat people, because you're only one experience away all the time. All right. So I'm also seeing in choking incidents. So, we're going to see a lot more news about choking incidents coming in. I'm seeing people smothering people and, like purposely smothering. So we're going to see news coming in about that. I see smoke and fog and haze. So we're going to see about smoke, fog, haze. Some places still going to be clouded with mist, is what I'm seeing. So there's still rain here in some places. Some places grow dark and dim is what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing people being numb. They're being confused. I see swelling still. And I also see, somebody's, they're not talking about it. You be cautious. They're not talking about it. You see? And yesterday I talked about camouflage. It's like the thing that's right in front of you that you can't really see, but doesn't mean that it's not there. And I say that because you need to know that sometimes it could be happening, but you're not aware that it's happening. That's why you got to pay attention. Now, I ain't talking about being like some people that I know that I'm going to say they make false claims and they know they lie on anybody. Okay? So don't lie. Make sure you're being honest and truthful if this stuff is happening to you. But that's what I'm seeing here. This is not a time to go up, okay, on a Wednesday. I'm seeing incidents happening at nightclubs and bars. Okay, so this is fights, this is shootings, this is stabbings, this is kidnapping. I'm seeing this coming in. I'm also seeing long lines coming in. So we're going to see something coming in about long lines and traffic here over the next 1 or 3 days or so. Collections, animal attacks, strikes, and this could be missile strikes and actual strikes about strikes and riots. Strikes and riots all throughout this month, okay? It's what you can expect. Control, limits, something coming in about a chimney here. Some locations that's highlighted in this energy. Well, before I get to the locations, let me continue on. I'm seeing something coming in about signal. We're going to see something about a signal. There's more likely to be stuff coming in about faulty products, faulty, defective products. So this is product recalls here. I'm seeing carelessness. We're likely to see something about carelessness. We're going to see more incidents in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so about machine tools cutting and, slips and incidents having to do with that. And also, not just that, but tomorrow is going to be a good time to work out in the yard. So, yesterday was a good time to clean your internal. And even today is a good day to self-reflect and meditate because it's a good day to take care of you. And then tomorrow you want to get outside, mow the yard, barbecue, spend time with family, that type of thing. So it's best you spend time with family than going out to bars and stuff like that. I'm seeing here. And then I'm seeing something about Burma. I've been picking up on Burma for a long time, but I don't necessarily know what Burma is, but I'm picking up on it. And grass birds. We're going to see something coming in about grass birds. And, well, not necessarily. It's just the time and the season of grass birds. Luckily, it's been raining a lot, so hopefully we don't see a lot of grass birds here. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. So food shortages and riots, rising prices, rationing and government control, encouragement to reduce waste, crumb sets, brass, copper, scrap metal, resignations, name changes, move to higher ground, brutal, muddy, and costly, spies and death sentences, NAACP, talk, opposition and criticism, chemical exposure, medical breakthroughs, and insecticide. Okay, so we're going to see all of these things that I said here within the span of this month. Some of them we will see over the next 1 to 3 days. Okay, I love you. Gubla one. Hearts go out, my friend. You get a heart. You get a heart. You get a heart. Hearts go out. Hearts go out. Bye.